Grand Duel Extra is slightly different from other Grand Duel quests. The fights are split into Extra 1 and Extra 2, plus each side has different Marie bosses with very different gimmicks, so let's go through the main mechanics, recommend DPS and support options. For Extra 1, the two main fights are Flare Marie and Grand Marie. Flare Marie's only gimmick is she applies 2 burn debuffs to herself, which means servants who deal special damage against burn enemies can take advantage of this immediately. Because of that, Monte Cristo is one of the best DPS options. His Noble Phantasm has burn special attack, and since he is a quick DPS, he works extremely well with Ruler's Guardi. Another strong option is CL. CL is especially useful since she can manipulate her command cards and create powerful MP into buster crit chains. With support like Elizabeth of the End, she can hit extremely hard through both Noble Phantasm damage and follow-up crits. For a more accessible DPS option, Summer Sufu and Summer Ares are also very strong. Summer Sufu has man attribute special attack on her Noble Phantasm and she deals extra damage against burn enemies, while Summer Ares has Curse special attack MP, bonus damage against servant, and the ability to apply curse herself. This makes both of them very impressive 4-star DPS option. However, all Maries have high level anti-magic, so debuff might fail against them. Next is Grand Marie. Grand Marie's main gimmick is she has 2 horns on the field. Each horn gives 50% damage resistance down and critical attack defense down after defeat. Since Grand Marie has extremely high HP, your goal is either to burst her down quickly during that debuff window or use a DPS who can clear the horns efficiently while still having enough damage for the boss. One of the strongest option is Aqua. She has a 100% battery and her Noble Phantasm has chaotic special attack, giving her strong burst damage against Grand Marie. Another excellent option is Samurai Shiki. She can use her AoE form to clear the horns first, then switch into her single target Noble Phantasm to focus down Grand Marie. For a budget option, Kishinami Hakuno is surprisingly useful. Hakuno can reshuffle the command deck using MP charge and deals extra damage against Sky attribute enemies. This makes it easier to set up Brave Chains and push more damage without relying on premium servants. For support, Jinako is one of the most useful options. She gives the party 50% special attack against lawful enemies, which is especially helpful against Flare Marie. On top of that, she provides attack buffs, MP support, and a decent party MP damage buff. Ruler's Guardi is the obvious choice for DPS servant. She gives massive quick support, strong battery, and even huge buster crit support, making her excellent for servant like Monte Cristo. The YBB can also be very useful, especially for popular DPS choices like CL or Arquid, as she gives extra MP damage and crit damage buffs on top of her party art support and MP charge to Moon Cancer or living human allies. For more budget option, Elizabeth of the End and Summer Da Vinci are great welfare choices. Elizabeth of the End massively support buster DPS by providing huge buster support, crit store bomb, and attack buffs. Meanwhile, Summer Da Vinci brings quick arts and buster buffs, MP damage up, MP charge, and 1 level of overcharge support. And finally, both CL and Hakuno can also support by manipulating the command card deck. They can be swapped with your DPS servant after setting up the exact card deck you want, allowing you to create massive burst damage chain when everything lines up. For Extra 2, the two main fights are Stella Marie and Aqua Marie. Stella Marie's gimmick is that she gains a mental debuff immunity and immobility immunity at the start of the battle. Then there's Aqua Marie. Each minion reduces Aqua Marie's damage taken by 30% of her max HP. On max difficulty, this means the minion can reduce her damage taken by around 1.8 million. However, each minion also drains 30% of Aqua Marie's max HP when defeated, so instead of only trying to burst Aqua Marie's directly, the better strategy is usually to clear the minion first, lower her effective HP, then finish her off with your main DPS. For Grand Score priority, the most important upgrades is coexistence of anti-pulse. That's increase your damage based on the number of debuffs on the enemy, which is basically free extra damage. Another upgrade to consider is buff for Mighty Chain. Chain, which inflicts debuff onto yourself when attacking. This is mainly worth prioritizing only if you are using Typhoon as your main DPS, because she can benefit from those self-debuff interaction. For Stella Marie, one of the strongest DPS option is Phantasmoon. She has evil special attack on her Noble Phantasm and also brings strong multi-core support, making her useful not only as a main DPS but also as part of a wider farming setup. Other strong single target options include Meltress and Super Bonyan. Both have strengthening Noble Phantasm, which works well as powerful single target DPS servants to bring down Stella Marie. For Aqua Marie, one of the best DPS option is Yoga Marie. She has a man attribute special attack Noble Phantasm, which can scales up to 200% at OC5. She can also turn all command cards into her own cards, making MP into crit chains extremely effective. Another strong choice is Typhoon. Typhoon works exceptionally well with the Grand Score system because some upgrades can directly support her self-debuff playstyle and increase her damage output. For more accessible option, Taisui Xingjun and Solomon are both worth mentioning. Taisui Xingjun is a welfare servant available through the evocation shop, and he has man attribute special attack Noble Phantasm, making him a strong budget option. Solomon is a welfare buster AoE servant who works extremely well with Oberon, especially when stacking MP damage buffs for one massive burst turn. For Extra 2, the best high-end supports are Oberon and Summer Abigail. Oberon gives up to 70% MP charge and he doubles the target's MP damage buff amount. Summer Abigail can apply up to 70% defense down when the enemy is asleep, alongside some buster debuff support. However, be careful against Stella Marie because she is immune to sleep. So in that fight, Summer Abigail can't reach her full debuff value. If you want more consistent debuff support, Concealer Drop is another strong option. She provides strong quick defense and critical resistance down, plus cell debuff success rate increase, which makes debuff setup more reliable overall. Solomon is another very strong support option. He gives the party 50% MP damage up and overcharge too, which pairs extremely well with Oberon for explosive Noble Phantasm usage on your DPS servant. Finally, Nocnara is a powerful offensive support. She can give up to 50% party attack up along with useful MP charge and MP damage buffs. Just remember to activate your DPS and support skills first, because Nocnara also applies party skill seal when giving her buffs. One common question is, can both Grand Servants come from Extra 1 or Extra 2? Yes, you can have both servants in the same extra group, however, you can't choose two servants from the same class as Grand Servants, so you still need to plan your choices carefully. Another common question is about Beast class servants. By default, these class servants cannot be Grand Servants. However, after collecting all 4 U pieces, Beast class servants becomes Unbeast, and once they become Unbeast, they can be selected as Grand Servants. This is why Beast class like Yoga Marie can become Grand Servants after the requirement is met. Overall, Grand Duel Extra is all about understanding each Marie's gimmick, building around the correct party, and choosing supports that match your DPS. Since Extra class is full of broken servants, there are a lot of possible setups, so experiment with different DPS and support combination. Let me know which servants carry you the most in the Grand Duel Extra, and if this guide helps, consider like and subscribe for more FGO guides and servant breakdowns, as I'm pushing towards 1,500 subscribers before summer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.